don't just need to review them. No one.
The answer, but I was asking if this was 4. What's this stuff?
Exponential, logarithmic. All the extra derivatives. So inverse trig, implicit, exponential, logarithmic. What was 4-1? That was table.
Oh, this is coming apart. Okay.
So 4 is literally just let's finish derivatives.
So
You guys figure that out yet?
4-3 is the only thing that's gonna fail me tomorrow.
Nothing to test tomorrow?
Yes. I can study.
I'm so close to an A, and then I get to an interesting function question. And then can we have an entire day to review?
No, you give me the decimal. It's my only day review.
Here we go. So, these are the rules. So my question to you is, how do we find them?
Derive. Yeah.
No, but you have to have this rule memorized. How do you find the rule to derive?
Your head. Memorize.
1 over ln of no the rule.
1 over u ln of
1 over ln of b.
u ln of
Could
b.
make it technically ln of x over ln of b.
Then you do the rule.
That would be 1 over ln of b times ln of x. And what is the derivative of ln of x?
1 over x ln of b. Or 1 over ln.
Good job, Kyle.
And of course, if there's a u, then we have to do a u. All it is the change of base formula. Take the derivative using the derivative of ln of x is 1 over x. So if this sticks better in your brain to help you get the 1 over x times ln of b, if you missed it on all of your forever quizzes and forever finals and maybe even an AP last year, you gotta find a way that works. Noah.
You can split up ln
Back.
into those two bits.
Huh?
You can split the log into ln.
I can change any base with a change of base formula. So I could have made it log base 2 of x over log base 2 of b. I could, but ln is obviously an easier one to change it into. Because I know the rule.
I'm hungry.
I take the argument, and when I change the base, I need the log of the new base of the argument over the log of the new base of the base.
So it's u over b.
Yeah. Yeah, new log u over new log b.
Wait, so how do you derive the b to u?
Yeah. So then b to the u is our next one. Katrina, you got your rules? Cool. That's how we find the log base b. How do we find the b to the u?
You memorized it.
Or,
What?
Log b to the u.
Makes u ln of b.
It's b to u over ln of b times u prime.
1 over y dy
1 over y dy dx, right?
is equal to
b to u times ln of b
Is he
times u
constant?
prime.
No,
ln
it
of
was
b is
an
constant.
exponential expression,
u
right?
prime times 1 over b.
So we need d prime. ln of b is just a constant, though,
That's
true?
the b.
So then I would solve for dy dx by moving y to the other side. This is really good with anything implicit, right?
Yay.
Because I move the y,
Aw.
but I'm not done until I do what? Plug it in, plug it
I'm
in.
so proud of you.
So I end up with b to the u, if you want to think about it. Most of you like u prime at the end, so then you could do ln of b. Is that the derivative
Yes, ma'am.
for b to the u?
Really?
I thought it was like 1 over.
Nope.
No, that's the log one.
But think, we should know this, because what's the derivative of ln? 1 over. He's a log. Any log, 1 over, right? What's the derivative of e to the u? E to the u,
Times u.
exponential. Every exponential is going to be b to the u. Now, if it helps, my ones who missed it last year on a forever quiz or a forever final or an AP. Boo-boo-boo.
What?
The derivative of boo is boo-boo-boo. It wasn't this question a while ago. And actually someone did dee-doo boo boo boo. That sounded more fun, but it's not dee-doo, it's dee-dix, and then just stop that. So then the derivative of boo is boo-boo.
Of boo?
It was sad. This question was actually wrong. It was dee-doo, and so it was kind of sad.
If you had a good
That's
that's
okay.
pretty cute.
Yeah, it was dee-doo boo boo boo, and there's a robot baby.
This year.
So if you don't like the derivation of it, then remember, boo-boo, right?
Welcome to Cosby.
Okay, so that's section 4.4.
Don't question it.
My question to you is, what were you supposed to do in homework when you saw something that was a variable expression to a variable power?
I just imagine U to the U.
Not power rule.
U to the U side.
All in.
You have to use ln at both sides. There is no way about it. But isn't that exactly what we just reviewed right here? We didn't have to here. We have to here. Because we have no rule for a variable to a variable for an f to a g, but oh man, we do have a rule for a product, right? So you can bring that x down, we can do the product rule, so we can have 1 over y dy dx equals second d first, which would be just ln of x, plus first d second, which is x over x, which is 1. But what a lot of kids forget is to move the y, even if they get all this stuff right. To move the y, and remember, who is y?
Wait, and what's d second? Is it the 1 over x? Right, didn't you have to do the product?
Oh, I did, sorry. Second d first was ln of x times 1, and then first d second became 1.
Oh.
I just do the constant. So, you guys gonna prove to me that you know how to work out all, or work through all these rules?
Look at water.
Kind of, put it in your notes though.
Okay.
I have some multiple choice.
Is that a formula we can memorize?
Do we get it?
You technically can, but what if they give you, the homework, it was like sine of x to the x, you know what I mean? Or what if they
u
give
to
you?
the u times ln of u plus 1 times u prime times u prime?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say the original function times the product rule of, because you would have to do the product rule of this guy, so you'd have to call this guy f, that guy g, and then you'd have to do f to the g times ln of f times g prime plus g times ln of f prime. Like, I don't think that's any easier. Because you have to take ln of f and you have to do the product rule with it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. You work it out. If you want to come up with a rule, we'll see if it works, and then if someone wants to memorize it, they can. Ready? Set? In your notes, find me these 4 basic derivatives. Go.
No! Why? These are so
No talking, no talking, no talking, go.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know what D is.
Well, hopefully you should.
There's no ddx there, so.
Oh, this is.
Oh. Why are you talking?
Kyle! Shh!
Let people work it out themselves. I love you all, but shush. One more minute. Get your workspace ready.
Back to our spiral thing?
We'll go over these 4 and then go straight into some APMC for the end of chapter 4. P.S. Letter D we just did, I just stole it from the page before.
Yeah.
Did I trick you? C, it's the power rule. It's X and E is a number. Bring down to E and subtract 1. Haha, I tried to trick you.
I was right.
Why is the derivative of A 0? It's a number to a number, which is a number. That's a number, like pi. Pi to the E to the E, E to the pi. All of them are constants. Derivative is 0. Derivative of E to the X is E to the X. This guy is X to the E power, and E is a number. It's X to the N, which is N X to the N minus 1. This one, you would have had to solve like we just did, taking ln of both sides and doing the product rule and ending in X to the X, ln of X plus 1. On your marks, get set in the back of your workspace. Ready, set, go.
Oh, workspace.
Can I get dum-dums
Yeah.
this time?
Oh, dum-dums?
Do you have dum-dums?
No, I don't. Need to get dum-dums.
Wait, we already did 4-3, so isn't this 4-4?
Because you take the derivative of ln of y on this side is 1 over y dy dx, and move the y, and y is x. Doesn't have to be mental math. I know. Does that help? Are you see it, Tom? Which one? ln of x plus 4 plus e to the negative 3x.
Oh.
Yeah, e to the negative 3x. Everyone's here today, right? Yeah.
E to the X, E to the T. Did you mean T? Because that would not make sense.
Oh, it's e to the t, yeah. Oh, it's like missing on the other side. Sorry, guys.
okay. Oh, yes, that's why I couldn't do it. Yes. Oh.
No.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, it equals this. It got cut off. Like it equals the x of t. The equation is this plus this equals that. Yeah. And it's just horizontal motion. It's not parametric.
So can we use a calculator before?
Do you need to? I don't think so.
Wait, that's a minute. Oh, so we need the T. So when the sign of the
Thank you for the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We already know the answers. I remember a paperclip.
What is E to T equals 0?
Zero? It doesn't. It can't. Yeah.
Alright, cool.
What equals 0?
Yeah. That's why I got it. I can't see it.
Which one's 0? Yeah, it's greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal.
What is A? Do you say
A double prime, or sorry, A times x double prime plus x prime equals x.
So A, X,
You guys ready for everything up to C? Or up to B?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all I need.
equals
A, B, C.
A equals C.
Oh, I got that one.
How do I do A?
I don't know, I plugged it into my calculator.
Wait.
Oh my god.
I derived it, so we have to do where the particle is at rest, where the derivative is 0. So second d first would be sine of t times e to the t, plus first d second. Can e to the t ever equal 0?
No.
Right, second to first plus first to second.
Yeah, but shouldn't it
Be where
should
they're
we-
opposite?
Yeah,
They're
should
the
the
same.
same, opposite, not the same.
Should be opposite.
Oh, I did too much mental math, you're right. I did where they're exactly the same. I was thinking minus, but you're right, derivative of sine is positive cosine. Which would be 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. E to the t can never equal 0. If you tried, ln of 0 does not exist. It's a vertical asymptote. So you set him equal to 0, but it doesn't ever work. I think e always skims, but never hits. Sine plus cosine had to equal 0. I didn't do the extra step in my head of subtracting the cosine or thinking of the opposite signs. Sine and cosine are the same value, but opposite signs at the 45s in the second and in the fourth quadrant. The last one we have to find a second derivative, sadly, which would end up being, I would just do the factored form. Second d first would just be e to the t, sine of t plus cosine of t, plus first d second, which would still be just e to the t. But now I'd have cosine minus sine,
Yeah.
and that's all multiplied by a, plus e to the t, sine of t, cosine t, sorry, plus cosine t equals e to the t, sine of t. Can't we just cancel out an e to the t? Because if I divide every single term,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
E to the t's are inconsequential. So get rid of all those. Then we end up with the minus signs, don't those cancel right here? Sine minus sine? Right? So I have 2a cosine t,
2A.
right? Because I have 1 cosine plus 1 cosine is 2 cosine times that. And then I have, well, I can subtract this sign with that sign, right? Plus cosine of t equals 0.
So it's negative 1 half.
So then if I factor out a cosine of t, I have 2a plus 1 equals 0. And it doesn't ask for the values of t that would make this 0. It asks for the value of a that would make it 0. So regardless of the cosine of t. The a itself, if the a was negative 1/2, wouldn't the whole thing be 0?
Yep. Oh, I just subtracted that cosine to the other side.
Oh, at least you could have done that too. I always think factoring, just in case they were asking for all the different ways you can get a 0, right? I was just being safe with this.
Can you tell me first two?
First one, I did the derivative. You should have had, you might have had to go kind of slow on this one. It's u prime over u, so I have my x plus 4 plus e to the negative 3x, plugging in x equals 0. My u prime is going to be 1 minus 3 e to the u. When I plug in 0, I get e to the 0 is 1, 1 minus 3. It's negative 2. On the bottom I get 0 plus 4 is 4, but e to the 0 is 1. So 0 plus 4 plus 1 is 5.
Do you not have to subtract 1? Because these two just seem to be...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was doing that.
Miss Diddy,
Yeah.
for part B, how do you get rid of all the signs? You just cancel all the signs.
Well, first of all, I had a sign minus a sign in the x double prime, so they just canceled. And then a distributed to the 2 cosine, and I came here and I just had a sign plus a cosine. I had a sign over there, so I just moved it to the other side. Because there's a sign on both sides. So I just canceled them. I can subtract.
Oh, you subtract, okay.
Yeah, I can subtract. Gabby.
Could you explain how to do number 2?
Yeah. Number 2, I'm trying to find g prime, which is the derivative of the inverse, right? So I know it's going to be 1 over f prime of f inverse of a. Or you can think of it as the same thing as f inverse of a is b. And who is b? They give us the point, oh sorry, who is f prime? My bad. B is 1, because when a is 2, remember I have to look for the y of the inverse, which is the x of the original, but I just choose the other one, don't choose 2. Choose 1 to plug in, and I'm plugging into the derivative, and the derivative is 3x squared plus 1. So plugging in 1 over 3 times 1 squared plus 1, which is 1 over 4. Remember, to find the derivative of the inverse, you do 1 over f prime, the derivative of the original, with the inverse value plugged in. If you want to, you could think of it as this helps me say that f of 1 equals 2. I don't know which one your brain likes better. But this is kind of where our card says. G of 2 equals 1 is the same thing as f inverse of a equals 2.
Thank you.
Any other ones that we need to explain? Alright, kind of the party, huh? We made it?
Yeah.
Kiddos, let's go and grade our homework real fast and make sure that we're okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm done, chapter 4 is done. Test corrections won't be due until, I'll give you Tuesday. That way you have the weekend, but you also have Monday night if you choose to relax this weekend from calculus, I understand.
Can we,
move back. 45 was that?
so much
Is there any way to simplify 45?
On homework?
Well, we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet, sorry, bud. Alright, kiddos, what's the first even? 2 e to 2x, you guys know that, what's the next one? 12. Oh, sorry. 2 e to 2x, 12. Negative 9 to the negative x times ln of 9. Boolimbo, right? Boolimba, and then u prime is negative 1. Boolimbo. It's right there.
Oh, it's good.
Negative 9 to the negative x ln of 9. 16, you can see right down here, 2 ln of x over x, and no, those do not cancel. Hi.
They can if you make them.
No! Fail. Number next one.
20.
ln of x. You have to do the product rule, and in doing the product rule, the 1 and the minus 1 cancel. Number next one.
38.
38.
Because I actually slept last night. The last 2 days.
All right.
I did. Got a problem with that?
People in the front and the back, let's be considerate. Here we go. 38. The derivative is 1 over x plus 1. The domain of f is x greater than negative 1. Remember, ln's, you gotta take the argument, set greater than 0, solve, so x greater than negative 1. The domain of f prime, you have both the greater than and the can't equal to, which doesn't really change anything whatsoever. The not equal to is because they're saying, hey, now there's a denominator, but it could never equal from the beginning because ln of 0 doesn't exist. So it has to be greater than no matter what.
44. You passed it.
Oh, I did. That was fast. Have fun. Check. Corey, from this one you can see if you can figure out a rule that would work.
Yeah, that's the one that's the one I was talking about. The U.
Yeah, I don't know if...
Did I get it? I think I did it. I did do it. That's what I did. Oh, there's a plus.
Because you have to do f to the g, and then you'd have to do...
Why is there a plus?
Because product rule.
Oh.
Take the ln, bring down the tangent, and product rule. So that's why I don't think your rule thing works.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you have to use product rule.
Plus. That's your formula. Take it, Jason. Don't tell me wrong.
Is there a way to simplify? And the answer is no, not really, just this one.
Oh, you have to use the product rule formula?
Yeah.
Alright, number next one.
52. I have a question on 52 too, so someone can do that on the board. Oh, wait, maybe. I have a question on A and C. B was perfectly fine.
We have 52.
I got 53. Okay, so B is not perfectly fine.
What is it, 50?
No, B, I got it wrong too.
What happened, guys? What's wrong with 52?
It was had top
Spread of the
stuff,
flu?
crease and stuff.
Hey, that's going on at school right now. I said more like the spread of the cold.
It's a rumor. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one for half of it.
Oh, that's, yeah, were you looking at the, oh, you're looking at 51.
I was looking at both. I got
Struggle.
Still got it wrong. That's not just right.
Okay, pause. A is easy, right? Initial, what does that mean?
Plug in 0.
Plug it in, so then your first answer was just as easy as plug in 0 and everything ends up being?
1.
Either the 5 is 199.
I thought A was supposed to be looking for the derivative, not you plugging 0.
That's a good question. Hold on.
It's finding the initial number of students. It's just plugging 0 and finding.
Yeah, you just literally
You
just put
just
yeah.
how many people there are.
Exactly.
But how did you say?
What's
Because
he
most-
just said?
wait,
Hold
is
on,
it just
Jason's
logic?
checking it. What's he just said?
148 point something.
Plus 1 would be 149. Oh, and then you divide.
Yeah.
Can you have 1 point something students infected? No, you just say the initial is round down.
Obvious.
My bad, I didn't.
One whole student, don't go to 2. Does that make
Of
sense?
course, it has to start with 1. There's always
Yeah.
a patient 0. Just like the AIDS virus.
Maybe 2 got the same time. So, B.
He was in this class.
Yeah, let's not go back
Who
to
was?
that. B.
Patient 0.
How fast? Wait, pause. You don't know what how fast is. How fast is the velocity? You just need to take the derivative and then plug in 4. How do you get the derivative of that expression? Quotient rule, or beta chain rule, making it to the negative 1 power. That probably would be a little bit easier, but.
I sat behind you. God bless you. You're really
So like
so
zeros, they had the whooping cough and the pink eye one.
Wait, what?
I got pink eye.
Okay, so back to this year, this class, and
Pink eye was fun.
CalcBC. Here's the derivative.
Good when I had it.
And there to plug in when time equals 4. Solve.
I got it
39.
before everyone else. I'm having patience.
62.
And last but not least, letter C is just graph and find the max, graph the derivative.
Well, I was trying to do a calculator.
And find the
Because they never
max.
said we could use our calculator. I was trying to do it too.
The max is at 5. Well, with this function, yeah, it would have been messy then. I mean, theoretically, you could have still done it.
What's the rate?
Couldn't you?
Of course.
You could find the
I
second
tried. It
derivative,
was
though,
just
to find the
hard.
max.
Oh, yeah.
You could find the second derivative. Long story short, it spends at the maximum rate at 5. But then you had to plug in 5 and figure out what the rate was, which is 50 students per day. That's getting spread too. That's kind of scary. I don't like that.
Ours will be done in like 2
Yeah, it would be.
How, we have more than 100 times. Okay, in like 4 days then.
We have more than.
Anyway, so back to, where are we going, 60 what?
62.
E,
Yes. Right on the hammer.
62, E, any more evens?
No, that's it.
No, we're done.
Alright, questions, evens or odds? Jonathan,
31.
31, Noah,
45.
45.
Oh my gosh.
That was 5.
Oh, I can do 31 as juice.
Maybe it's because I.
Oh, 45 was fun. What's the answer?
If you guys want to write down the review, there it is, otherwise, we're circling 31.
Let's go and take a picture.
Circling 41.
Could you check this to see if that equals that?
45 is I got 1/5 times x minus 2 to the 4 times x squared plus 1 over 2x plus 5 squared to the negative 4/5 times 2x plus 5 cubed times x squared plus 1 times 4 times x minus 3 cubed plus x minus 3 to the power of 4 times 2x all over 2 times 2x plus 5 over to the power of 6.
That's fine.
Is my answer right, Lucy? Thanks, Lucy.
Quotient rule. I would product on top of quotient rule.
Yeah, that's right. I did that too.
Same.
Oh, super long one.
Oh, wait, no.
Wait, you did the quotient rule first.
Oh, do our answers match?
She has my thing.
Wait,
Is this what you got?
A super long thing? Yeah.
wait, why did
No,
we
we
do the
simplified
second
it.
term?
Alright, we get done. Ain't the problem picking the 4.
Oh, this is not what I got. Where's your 5?
Because there's, I see first
I'll
and
work
second,
on it.
second, first.
What are we doing right now?
Let's see what's
I think I'm gonna check my AP score. While I'm lying.
You get it.
Oh no, I'm lying. I'm trying like this semester, not next semester. Next semester is credit. That's actually nickel wrong. So how are you physics again?
this. I just brought down the x problem. Give negative.
I'm gonna go to school.
Oh.
Local and achieve the.
Yeah, no, I did that.
You probably get. Capital colleges I'm applying to, I'm only applying to because they waived my application. Ow! For my grades.
Just make it to all develop one bit.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yes.
Academic.
Because you could just.
Wait! What are you?
Okay, I know 45 is long, 31 made a question, I'm gonna go look at it. Oh, you got it? Alright, take it from board, erase
I think
it.
so.
School that I didn't.
Isn't it just why is he going to island of 2x? 41? 31?
31.
Yeah.
It's 2 over E. I'll take it.
You got it.
Alright, now let's.
Can you do a 40?
I did the wrong question.
Oh, sorry guys, that was only question
43.
I did the wrong question.
I think I did the same question you did.
You did?
Who won 43?
Because I got one over x.
I got one over.
Yeah.
43 is taken, 31 is taken, they were 145 or you?
Oh, I'll do all right. I'll do 45 if I did correct. Can
I don't know
I?
if your answer is right,
So
Jonathan.
I brought it on the 150. Yeah, but Rob, then you we'll compare them.
Actually, if you
I
see
have
So then you bring them to,
I tried reading at school.
And then the two well, that's
Whatever you do.
45.
because it's just bottom square.
I want to go on a traveling school.
All right. Am I doing Disney? I didn't pay for it. Wait, what's drop? Drop.
Well, I guess it's right here, I think.
You were putting.
You're doing 45, right?
Alright, any other questions from people? Alright, kudos. The test review is upstairs. If you want, you can start test reviewing. Otherwise, you can wait for 43, 45, and 31.
No, I just didn't want to do it.
But were there any other questions, Ethan or Hans? Are we okay?
We're
I
good.
don't know. I have it up.
Yes.
Johnny was in 5. Johnny got an 8. And JP was the best.
Well, because I'm on your job.
Yeah, I like.
Exactly. But I don't have to deal with that next time. Got it.
Yikes.
Wait, 2 fits.
It takes time to review.
Yeah, you already must be checking out.
Let's do the.
Wait, so if we just take the different group, but we both did it right.
Oh, wait, we both did it right.
Yeah.
It's a fifth.
You did it.
1/5.
You went.
Oh,
by
that's
them. I
that's
did
why I made that
$5.
sorrow. I just took the logarithm. Yeah, it's a big one. I did it. Oh, the log thing because it's that was funny. I like that. What was that? Can we have something like this as a bonus on our test?
That would literally take all 45.
Well, okay, wait, pause. Did you guys realize that their answer is literally by doing logarithmic differentiation?
Yeah, I know that.
What?
That's what I
What is that? I still don't know what that means.
What? He did logarithmic. I did logarithmic. Why? Why? My rule's more fun. It's easy. Took the L in.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it doesn't make me have to think.
That
But
would
you
take
know
all
this
the
is
log rules, right, so you can do that plus.
And so it's not, their answer is not common denominators, their answer is like
I want to
split.
see the thing. No, not this thing. Thanks, boy. I'm so much of a room.
Okay, I need to spend the second. After Kyle.
What are you missing? Is that right?
Oh, thank you, Kyle.
I keep missing the plus.
Wait,
It's cosine.
is it secant x tangent? Secant tangent?
Well, my way of doing it.
I have to write this inside 3 times.
Call me like I appreciate it. I try. Okay, does someone have a book they're not using, or a notebook, or a binder? Or just anything long enough without this long? Because I need my book. My book is serving a very important function right now.
Sorry for it.
Someone want to give me a binder, a notebook, or a book? Yeah.
Yes.
Inverse of cosine is 1 over.
No. Where's the 1/5? Oh, times.
So 5 on the bottom, right?
No. Yes. Did you? You just squared it. You didn't want 5. You're missing. I think you're missing.
No, I didn't simplify.
Oh, you simplified it?
I did.
I didn't either. Shouldn't it be a 2x?
Wait, you didn't use that. Do the top of
Because the x squared.
You didn't do it. You didn't do the logarithms. Wait, no, only is 1, right?
Wait, no.
Only is 1.
You like walk me through here with the.
Yes.
The
Yeah, the
What's the derivative?
I took the derivative.
Yeah.
I got a formula for f, right? Which is 1 over x.
Okay.
Alright, kiddos, can we talk about number 45 really quickly?
That was fun.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Could you do this blob to the 1/5, bring down the 1/5, negative 1/4 times u prime?
Yes.
Which would be quotient rule, bottom d top, which is a product rule, minus top d bottom all over bottom squared. Yes, but their answer, if I was to scroll to it right this second, I think I'm on it. Did they show the answer the same way as that? No, because we're in the log section. The log section says you can bring, if you take ln of both sides, logarithmic differentiation, you can bring the 1/5 down, and when you multiply, you're adding separate logs, and you can bring the powers down if there are, and when you're dividing, you're subtracting a separate log, bring the 3 down.
But that's not.
So I rewrote it, and I just had a little ln of u, ln of u, ln of u, da-da, da-da, da-da. I did 1 over y and moved him to the other side, and I was done.
That's not as fun.
It's not as exciting, but it definitely would match the answer better if they said use logarithmic differentiation. Now, if they didn't say use logarithmic differentiation, well, long story short, this won't be an FRQ. It would be a multiple choice. And you should look at the answer choices before starting, one way or the other.
Make it a bonus. That'd be so much fun. Don't do logs, just do regular stuff. It's so much fun.
Very true.
You like the way I did my logs?
Yeah, but it looks cleaner. Why did you do your logs?
He didn't simplify, like break it down as much. He broke it down some, but not all the way.
She broke it down at the beginning.
You told me the wrong
Yeah.
thing.
I did.
Oh, you broke it down after.
Oh,
Sorry. I heard you break it down, I just didn't realize why it was so messy. Alright, I'm gonna go mark down points for Lucy and Jonathan and Noah and Corey, because he was helping.
yes!
Thanks again.
He was more like being a consultant, I suppose, is a better way of putting it. Cameron, can I have the grade book? Just the... Alright, do you guys get your test review written down?
Not yet.
Yeah.
What is the goal of having the test tomorrow? A, finishing chapter 4. B, not randomly sitting here twiddling our thumbs tomorrow. And C, resting from calculus over the weekend. You do have corrections on the chapter 3 test, but for most of you, there are not many, first of all. And second of all, I'll have it due Tuesday in case you would rather just take a total break from calculus. We've been going fast, and that's okay.
There's a new patient, 0 Miss D. Someone has had lice.
What? Use that email?
No one just sent me a text. She was like, braid your hair.
Jason!
I haven't even gotten the email yet.
Yes, it was me. I'll keep them around here one day.
Because we're gonna make fun of them.
I have no idea. I bet it's like North Campus. It's totally an elementary thing. Or it's someone with a poor little elementary, like brother or sister, and they gave it to him. I know, but you can't always
Keep them
like.
around so when you're hungry, you have something to eat.
Corey, no.
Yes.
Lucy, you got one?
Around so when you're hungry.
Jonathan got one?
They don't get Corey, no.
Somehow.
You got lice?
Somehow I couldn't get it.
Oh, even everybody else got lice?
Because I always have like I want to be jealous.
And you can get it. And I can't.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't play the money. Do it for one night. Good. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not an idea.
Maybe your hair is just so short you don't want it.
Someone want to give me the problem?
In order to get
I get to Eileen's side.
Oh, yeah, sure. And then you finally have videos for your head.
Someone like it was in the school
Oh, you
and
need my headbands? Like, useless.
Yes, they're very useless.
What the hell, my hair looks
but
strong.
you feel.
What are the questions?
Outside doing nothing and you're not doing any activity. I can't. You can pick on it. Is it calculus tomorrow or no? Please say yes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, how would I do X to that?
If anybody needs a, you have to pull up the book. Sorry, some of you guys don't have your books with you. Let me pull that.
Oh my gosh, no. How'd you do number 21? What is the instructions? What? Ellen this. How do I Ellen? You just Ellen it. How do I? You just Ellen it. It doesn't do anything. It's hard. What?
Can you guys see the review? At least how to start? Yeah.
Yes.
For a while. 4:35.
ln of y equals 2 ln of x.
Okay, cool.
And derive that.
We're doing work.
I am so dumb.
We're doing that.
Thank you guys.
I'm doing my pre-test ritual. I just go through and I ask you every single question that I did not do. For every section.
We're getting back to that. I like it.
Yeah, but I have soccer trials today. Today and tomorrow.
I remember doing the seek and a seek.
Everything is
See.
Brittany, you played
I guess he's allowed to say that, but we'll just say he's wrong.
Are you starting goals?
what?
Oh, sorry, he's not totally never mind. There you go.
Okay, no, okay. Here's the thing. This is the thing.
Yeah. I'm just like, she was about to get to why is it like too hot? Why? Too hot to ride
So I had a lie. How do I get this?
So tangent still has a 1 plus beta.
And when she gets hurt, and I got ready in 7 seconds. People were like shutting my shit. I
can see up to except dating. Wait, Kyle, what did you get? Did you get 2Y over X?
You got ready.
I got ready in 7 seconds.
Where's 7? Here, did you?
Did she graduate?
So who's second?
Alright, guys, remember, reviews don't correct corrections or problems, you just go for it. Test tomorrow. Let's be ready to go by the bell. So if you want to come in a little bit early, I'm going to be handing out tests at the bell tomorrow. Sound good? Give you bye, Jordan. At the front. Composition books in the front too. We'll just spread out, remember, diagonal, not horizontally or vertically by anybody. Bye, guys.
Bye, Miss Sue. I didn't walk. I didn't
You need to remember all the formulas. Study those flavor colors. Bye, guys.
And half of them are the same, just the